Good afternoon, children. Today I shall be narrating a story. The title of the story is Ghosts on the Veranda, and the author is Ruskin. Anil's mother was stored with an incredible amount of folklore, and she would sometimes astonish us with her stories of spirits and mischievous ghosts. One evening, when Anil's father was out of the town, and Kamal and I had been invited to stay the night at Anil's upper story flat in the bazaar, his mother began to tell us about the various types of ghosts she had known. Mulia, a servant girl, having just taken a bath, came out on the veranda with her hair loose. "My girl, you ought not to leave your hair loose like that," said Anil's mother. "It is better to tie a knot in it." "But I have not oiled it yet," said Mulia. "Never mind. But you should never leave your hair loose towards sunset. There are spirits called jinns who are attracted by long hair and pretty black eyes like yours. They may be tempted to carry you away." "How dreadful!" exclaimed Mulia, hurriedly tying a knot in her hair and going indoors to be on the safe side. Kamal, Anil, and I sat on a string cot facing Anil's mother, who sat on another cot. She was not much older than 32 and had often been mistaken for Anil's elder sister. She came from a village near Mathura, a part of the country famous for its gods and spirits and demons. "Can you see jinns, Auntie Ji?" I asked. "Sometimes," she said. "There was an Urdu teacher in Mathura whose pupils were about the same age as you. One of the boys was very good at his lessons. One day, while he sat at his desk in a corner of the classroom, the teacher asked him to fetch a book from the cupboard which stood at the far end of the room. The boy, who felt lazy that morning, did not move from his seat. He merely stretched out his hand, took the book from the cupboard, and handed it to the teacher. Everyone was astonished because the boy's arm had stretched about 4 yards before touching the book. They realized he was a jinn. That was the reason for his being so good at games and exercises which required great agility." "Well, I wish I was a jinn," said Anil, "especially for volleyball games." Anil's mother then told us about Munjia, a mischievous ghost who lives in lonely peepal trees. When a Munjia is annoyed, he rushes out from his tree and upsets Tonga's bullock carts and cycles. Even a bus is known to have been upset by Munjia. "If you are passing beneath a peepal tree at night," warned Anil's mother, "be careful not to yawn without covering your mouth or snapping your fingers in front of it. If you don't remember to do that, the Munjia will jump down your throat and completely ruin your digestion." In an attempt to change the subject, Kamal mentioned that a friend of his had found a snake in his bed one morning. "Did he kill it?" asked Anil's mother anxiously. "No, it slipped away," said Kamal. "Good," she said. "It is lucky if you see a snake early in the morning." "It won't bite you if you let it alone," she said. By 11 o'clock, after we had finished our dinner and heard a few more ghost stories, including one about Anil's grandmother, whose spirit paid the family a visit — she was dead already — Kamal and I were more reluctant to leave the company on the veranda and retire to the room which had been set for us. It did not make us feel any better to be told by Anil's mother that we should recite certain magical chants to keep away the more mischievous spirits. We tried one, and it went like this: "Bhoot, Pret, Pisach, Dana, Chhu Mantar Sab Nikal Jana, Mano Mano Shiv Ka Kehna," which roughly translates: "Ghosts, spirits, goblins, sprites, away you fly! Don't come tonight! Oh, with great Shiva, you'll have to fight. Shiva, the destroyer, is one of the three major Hindu deities. But the more we repeated the verse, the more uneasy we became. And when I got into bed, after carefully examining it, of course, for snakes, I couldn't lie still, but kept twisting and turning and looking at the walls for moving shadows. Kamal attempted to raise our spirits by singing softly. But this only made the atmosphere more eerie. After a while, we heard someone knocking at the door and the voices of Anil and the maidservant. Getting up and opening the door, I found them looking pale and nervous. And anxious too. They too had succeeded in frightening themselves as a result of Anil's mother's stories. Are you all right? Asked Anil. Wouldn't you like to sleep in our part of the house? It might be safer. Mulia will help us carry the beds across. We are quite all right, protested Kamal and I, refusing to admit we were nervous. But we were hustled along to the other side of the flat, as though a band of ghosts was conspiring against us. Anil's mother had been absent during all this activity, but suddenly we heard her screaming from the direction of the room we had just left. Rusty and Kamal have disappeared, she cried. Their beds have gone too. And then, when she came out on the veranda and saw us dashing about in her pyjamas, she gave another scream, ah, and collapsed on the cot. After that, we did not allow Anil's mother to tell us ghost stories at night. So I hope you enjoyed the story and see you next weekend. Thank you.